Hey guys, it's Mike, and you're watching Mike's Rockin' Relics. And I was looking around the other night and saw that Dillon over there at Noble Records has put together a summer vinyl tag for this summer, and I thought that would be really fun to take part in. And so, if you're new to this, a vinyl tag is when somebody comes up with a list of questions and record collectors answer them, and it's a way of exploring other people's collections and tastes and just seeing stuff that you might not know that's out there or what other people are into. And it kind of gives you a glimpse into the type of music that they like to listen to and the stuff that they like to collect. So it's kind of fun, and I thought I'd like to do that. So today is going to be the vinyl tag for the summer of 2024. Okay, let's dive into the first question. An album or song with summer in the name. And I'm going to go with, maybe it's a little cliched, but Summertime Blues, Eddie Cochran. I just love that song. Makes me instantly think of summer vacation as a kid. And, how can you not like Eddie Cochran's stuff? So that's going to be the first one on the list for me. Question 2, the latest heavy pull. I had to kind of use Discogs for this because I couldn't remember. But I'm going to go with Rush Hemispheres, but it's not a standard pressing. It's the original Canadian red vinyl, and that is the one I'm going to go with for today's heavy pull, I guess. I haven't had a lot of heavy purchases in a while. I don't know. I seem to have everything I'm looking for. I don't know, collectors that have been collecting for as long as I have, maybe you're in the same boat where it's just sometimes difficult to find things that are things you're looking for that aren't already in your collection, things like that. So that was my latest heavy pull. Number 3, whack-a-mole. So if you know Mazzy's channel, he sort of has made famous this idea of just randomly going back and pulling a record. So I guess that's what we're going to do right now. So let's take a walk, and we'll have a look. See, maybe we'll try to find on here. There's records here and down here and over here. Maybe we'll go over here for this one. I'll try down here. What's this? All right. There is our whack-a-mole record. I'll set it up here. This is Taste. If you're not familiar with this is Rory Gallagher's band before he was just a solo artist, and it's really good. Kind of sounds a little bit like Cream. Heavy guitar stuff. Really good. And they also have a live album, and where did I get that from? Somewhere in here. Let me see if I can find it and show you. There. That one. And that's a good live album as well from the same era. Okay, back with number 6, an album we would be surprised to see in your collection. I tend to be more of a rock and roll guy and electric guitars and things like that, but I do like Joni Mitchell. So here is an album that people would probably be a little surprised to see in my collection. And I have a lot of Joni Mitchell stuff, so this is just the one I picked out because it's more of one of her famous albums, but certainly explore that. Being Canadian myself, I think she's one of the top musicians to ever come out of Canada. Definitely worth checking out any of her stuff, but you don't need me to tell you that. She's really good. Okay, a cheap heat. This is question 7, so a cheap record that is really, really strong, and I think Long John Baldry, It Ain't Easy, is way up there for that. You can get this record for $5 or less. Usually it's less. And people just don't know what it is, and they flip by it and they don't think it's anything. But this is produced by Rod Stewart. Elton John plays on this. Ron Wood plays guitar on this. And the songwriting is really good. There's Randy Newman's songs are on here. It's just really a good record. And Baldry's interpretation of songs is always really interesting, and I don't know, I think for $5 or less you won't be disappointed in this record. So that's my pick for a cheap heat. Question number 8 is a 45. I'm going to choose Mystery Train by Elvis Presley, an original Sun pressing of this. This is the blueprint for rock and roll, and Scotty Moore's guitar playing and Elvis's performance on this is just so good, and the song has so much energy. You can just feel it coming through the record, and that's my pick for a 45 on the original Sun label. Owning an original Sun of that was kind of a dream come true when I found that one. Number 9, a favorite music documentary or biopic, and I'm going to go with a Festival Express, and this is one of my favorites, and it's one that a lot of people don't know about. It was a train that went across Canada in 1970 that had Janis Joplin, the band, the Grateful Dead, Flying Burrito Brothers, Buddy Guy Blues Band is on there, and they would stop at various cities and get out and perform, and then to get back on the train and go to the next town, and in between would just jam all through the night and play. And there's all this footage that was captured of this, and it's a really rare sort of behind the scenes backstage pass of the whole tour. So this is a good DVD to check out, and definitely worth having a go at. Okay, question 4, a cover with an animal on it. So I chose Elephant's Memory. This is, maybe it's a dead animal, but there is a live one on the back. This is John Lennon's band when he was solo. Elephant's Memory was his solo band, and sort of after the Plastic Ono band. And it's okay. It's not a bad record. I kind of have it more for the Lennon connection, really, but it's all right. It's not a bad listen. And I think they have a few, but that's my cover with an animal on it. I was so close to just picking Animals by Pink Floyd with that pig, but because I love that record, but I went with that one. Number 5, an album with a great story. So I'm going to choose this album because it's the first record I ever owned, and how this came to be was it was my dad's record, and when I was in grade 2, I was showing a great interest in records, and he gave it to me to start my record collection off with. And I still have it, and all these years later, my daughter now has been listening to it, and all of us have signed our name on the back. My dad, me in grade 2, and then my daughter signed it in grade 2 as well. So it's a bit of a family heirloom, I guess you could call it. And it's a record that, for me, really helped spark my interest in music in general. So that is my great story with a record. Guys, thanks for watching. If you're a big fan of rock and roll and you like records, guitars, and stories about rock and roll, be sure to give us a like and subscribe and ring that bell. It helps us to grow the channel and keep more stuff coming. Thanks a lot. Okay, question number 10, a box set. And I love this box set. This is Springsteen 75 to 85, 5-record set. Bruce has kind of, two camps. You either like Bruce or you don't. There doesn't seem to be a middle ground, and I can see why people don't. I understand that, but listen to this and then get back to me, because this, to me, live Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band is just incredible stuff, and you can just feel the soul and the energy, and the performance is so good. It's everything that, to me, made me a Springsteen fan. So check that one out if you're on the fence, because I think it's really good. The most trashed record in your collection. Yes. I actually picked a 78 because you don't get much more trash than one that's broken into 3 pieces. But this is Tampa Red on Bluebird. And it cracked in 3 places on me, and I was just gutted. But it's such a rare record, and one of the all-time great blues players. I thought I just got to put it back together. That is my most trash record because it's not really even complete anymore. But it's fantastic, and I will not get rid of it. And what happened, it was awful. I was moving from my old studio to this cabin, and I had a stack of 78s. And I put them in one hand to lock the door with the other hand. And the wind blew 3 of them onto the main street of my town. And this one landed first and just smashed into 3 pieces. And I was I thought of all the ones to have that happen to, it was the wrong one. But anyway, I'm not getting rid of it. It's staying here. Let's see. The local album. Okay. You can't get much more local for me than my own. And sorry about the shameless self-promotion, but this was recorded in this room, so that's as local as it gets for me right there. And I put that out in 2020, but enough about that one. But that is a local album, so there you go. There isn't a lot of local albums from the town I live in, but there are some, and I encourage you to check out a band called Greatest of Ease on Spotify, and you can check out Cleopatra, some kids I used to teach, and they're pretty good as well. And there is some local talent from this area for sure, but there's not a lot of bands that have recorded albums and things like that. An album from a far away land. I'm gonna go with Ginger Baker's Air Force, and it was recorded in England, but there's a lot of African music on here, and a lot of African influenced music on here, I guess I should say as well. But it sounds like it's from another planet, let alone another land. So this is the album I would check out, Ginger Baker's Air Force. Graham Bond is on here, Rick Gretsch is on here, Steve Winwood's on here. It's different. Check that one out. And lastly, number 14, a soundtrack. I'm going to go with Goblin Suspiria. And this is the strangest record I own, I think, but it's interesting. And it sounds like the cover. Okay, question number 15, highest recommendation. So I teach music to a lot of kids, and one of the things that I try to constantly tell them about is, for them, their Fleetwood Mac starts and ends with the Rumours album, and I try to tell them, no, there's another band before this that was Fleetwood Mac, and the Fleetwood Mac blues band era to me is just incredible stuff. And so I'm going to say let's highly recommend this set that came out a few years ago, Volume 1, Live 1968, and this is great. And if you haven't listened to the early Fleetwood Mac, you are missing something, man. Check that out. Number 16, highest on your want list. I really don't know the answer to that. I think it would be, I'm missing a couple of the Australian AC/DC pressings, and I think maybe that would be highest on my want list. But pretty well I've got everything I've set out to get. I like to collect the Vertigo label. There's some on there that I'm looking for that are on my want list as well. But overall, I've got lots to listen to. But those couple of things would be something I'm always on the lookout for. The trouble is you never see them, and it's really hard to track down. So I think for me, it won't be in the wild to find those ones. Number 17, channel shout out. I'll shout out to Dillon at Noble Records for putting this list together, and he's always got interesting stuff on his channel. So I don't watch a ton of record YouTube stuff, but check that out if you haven't already. You probably have if you're watching this, but he's definitely got some interesting stuff. I really like the passion that he has for doing what he does, and being self-employed in music. I can tell you, there are days that you just don't feel like it. You don't want to do it, and you feel like you've kind of, hit the wall that particular day. And overall, you love what you do, but there are days you just don't want to do it. You want to do anything but. And being self-employed, that's the grind. That's the tough thing, is you never turn it off. So to have a full-time record shop and still be interested in records, that's tough. So full shout out for Dillon. Number 18. A silver lining in vinyl. And I guess for me it was when I started to collect records, it was really out of necessity. CDs had gotten so expensive in the 90s, and I was in high school, and I didn't have any money, and collecting vinyl was a great way for me to pick up titles much cheaper and explore bands and learn about music for like $1 a record. And to really explore genres and artists and learn how bands connect and things like that, and sort of the family tree of music, if you will. So I think for me, that was the silver lining. Through vinyl, I was able to really educate myself on music and to kind of explore and discover new bands at a relatively cheap price. Nowadays, you can't do that as easily, but that was definitely a silver lining for me. Number 19, a steal of a deal, and I picked this up at a flea market, and this is the original Jimi Hendrix Experience, and it's a true first pressing with the black label reprise. This is a really obscure, hard to find first Hendrix. I paid $2 for it, and was pretty pleased with myself to walk home with that. So that is a steal of a deal in any language. And the last question on the vinyl tag is a promotional copy, and I'm going to show you Aerosmith's Walk This Way demonstration, not for sale. So that is the one I'm going to show on this video. And so I hope you enjoyed that. That is the 2024 summer vinyl tag, and just questions that collectors get to answer and put on their channel. And, you know, you get to show a little bit of what you've got in your collection and share with other people what you like to collect and what inspires you to buy records and sort of keep physical media anymore. And these are some of the albums that fit the vinyl tag for this time. And, you know, maybe if you ask me tomorrow, I'll come up with different ones. But these are the ones that I've chosen to show you today. And I hope that connected with you on some level. So let me know in the comments what you think of that stuff, or if there's any of those albums that you enjoy as well. And I'll see you next time. Keep on collecting.